Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Govardhana Radha Govardhana Shri Radhe Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Giri Govardhan Krishna Balaram Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Krishna Balaram Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Gaurani Tai Jaya Gaurani Tai Jaya Gaurani Tai Jaya Gaurani Tai Gaurani Tai Gaurani Tai Gaurani Tai Jaya Gaurani Tai Jai Jai Prabhupada Prabhupada Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parvacharya Shila Astupa His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Ganga Devi Ki Jai Yamuna Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Maharani Ki Jai. All glories to the symbol devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the symbol devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the symbol devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Pancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, good morning. Welcome everyone. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 13, entitled The Appearance of Lord Varaha. And before we start, we'll chant the invocation prayers before reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shrimatam Shakatam Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtanam Rida Dakshin Padrani Vidunoti Suritsatam Nasta Praisa Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. So today we are doing text 37 to 38. That was meant to be yesterday, and I had prepared for 39, so I will read Prabhupada's translation and purport for 37, 38, and 39. Dikshanujanmupasada shirodaram Tvam prayani doyaniyadamstra Jiva pravargyas tava shirshakam krato Satyavasatyam chitayo savahite Dikshanujanmopasada shirodaram Tvam prayaniyodayaniadamstra Jiva pravargyastava shirshakam krato Satyavasatyam chitayo savahite Please chant. Dikshan janma pasada shirodaram Tvam prayanayodayani Jiva pravagyastava shirshakam krato Satyavasatyam chitayo savahite. Haridas, do you want to have a go? Okay. Ladies. Ikshanujanmopasada shirodaram Vampayaniyodayaniyadamstra Vampayakasatava shirshakam krato Yosavahite Dikshanujanma pasudha sirodaram Samprayaniya nuraniya tamstra Jiva pravargya stava shirshakam krato Satyava satyam chitayo savahite Dikshanujanmo pasada shirodaram Samprayaniyodayaniya Jiva pravabhyastava shirshakaram Satyava satyam chitayo savahite. Word for word, Diksha, initiation, Anujanma, spiritual birth or repeated incarnations, Upasada, three kinds of desires, relationship, activities, and ultimate goal. Shiradaram, the neck. Tvam, you. Prayaniya, after the result of initiation. Udayaniya, the last rites of desires. Tamstra, the tusks. Jiva, the tongue. Pravargya, prior activities. Tava, yo. Shirshakam, head. Krato, of the sacrifice. Satya, fire, without sacrifice. Avasatyam, fire of worship. Chitayaha, aggregate of all desires. Asavaha, life breath. He, certainly. Te, yo. Translation. Moreover, O Lord, the repetition of your appearance in the desire is the desire for all kinds of initiation. Your neck is the place for three desires, and your tusks are the result of initiation and the end of all desires. Your tongue is the prior activities of initiation. Your head is the fire without sacrifice, as well as the fire of worship. And your living forces are the aggregate of all desires. Please repeat. Moreover, O Lord, the repetition of your appearance is the desire for all kinds of initiation. Your neck is the place for three desires, and your tusks are the result of initiation and the end of all desires. Your tongue is the prior activities of initiation. Your head is the fire without sacrifice, as well as the fire of worship. And your living forces are the aggregate of all desires. So we read text 38. O Lord, your semen is the sacrifice called Soma Yagya. Your growth is the ritualistic performances of the morning. Your skin and touch sensations are the 7 elements of the Agnistoma sacrifice. Your bodily joints are symbols of various other sacrifices performed in 12 days. Therefore, you are the object of all sacrifices called Soma and Asoma, and you are bound by yajnas only. Purport. There are 7 kinds of routine yajnas performed by all followers of the Vedic rituals, and they are called Agnistoma, Atyagnishtoma, Ukta, Sodashi, Vajapeya, Atiratra, and Aptoryama. Anyone performing such yajnas regularly is supposed to be situated with the Lord. But anyone who is in contact with the Supreme Lord by discharging devotional service is understood to have performed all different varieties of yagyas. And text 39. O Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead and are worshipable by universal prayers, Vedic hymns, and sacrificial ingredients. We offer our obeisances unto you. You can be realized by the pure mind, freed from all visible and invisible material contamination. We offer our respectful obeisances to you as the Supreme Spiritual Master of knowledge in devotional service. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The qualification of bhakti or devotional service to the Lord is that the devotee should be free from all material contaminations and desires. This freedom is called vairagya, or renunciation of material desires. One who engages in devotional service to the Lord according to regulative principles is automatically freed from material desires, and in that pure state of mind one can realize the personality of Godhead. The personality of Godhead, being situated in everyone's heart, instructs the devotee regarding pure devotional service, so that he may ultimately achieve the association of the Lord. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10:10 as follows: Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. To one who constantly engages in the devotional service of the Lord with faith and love, the Lord certainly gives the intelligence to achieve him at the ultimate end. One has to conquer the mind, and one may do it by following the Vedic rituals and by performing different types of sacrifice. The ultimate end of all those performances is to attain bhakti, or the devotional service of the Lord. Without bhakti, one cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The original personality of Godhead, or his innumerable expansions of Vishnu, are the only objects of worship by all the Vedic rituals and sacrificial performances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthar Bhutale Srimate Bhai Krishna Goswami Namini. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthar Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Nirvishesha Shunivadi. So I seek the blessings of all the devotees that I can speak something that will be beneficial to all of us, and especially to myself. It's not that I have realized this knowledge. What I am speaking is for my self-purification, and it's for self-application. So there's a similar thread in these three texts that is running through. Who notice what is the main thread in these three texts? It's talking about sacrifice, yagyas. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentions there that the Lord is worshipped by universal prayers, Vedic hymns, and sacrificial ingredients. So in Krishna book, in the beginning of Krishna book, we find that the demigods, they're in trouble because there's a demon, a person who is creating havoc on the earthly planet, and his name is Kamsa. So the demigods, they go to the head of the demigods, the chief engineer, Lord Brahma, and then they inquire from him what they should do. So those who are saintly and godly, when there's a problem, they go to the head and they inquire what they do. They try to solve it, but if they can't, with the knowledge they have gained from the authorities, and if they can't, they go to the head of that department and they inquire. So this is an example showing us of how we should act, that we should endeavor on our own part, but we should also take guidance from the seniors. So what prayers, Haridas, do you remember what prayers they go to when they go to the shore of the milk ocean with all the demigods and they praying to Lord Vishnu? So what are those prayers called? They start with P. Purusha Shukta prayers. So it talks about all different types of sacrifices. and Vedic hymns and sacrificial ingredients. And then there's different varieties of yagya. So the meaning of yagya means sacrifice. So we see in the material world that everyone is sacrificing, even if it's not spiritually for a higher upliftment. Everyone is sacrificing. People are sacrificing in the morning. They get up really early, even if they don't want to get up, so they can go to work and they can earn money and then maintain their family. So everyone is sacrificing. No one can say they're out of this, that they don't sacrifice, because everyone is doing something to gain something else. But in spiritual life, we see that sacrifice is meant for a higher purpose, to elevate our consciousness and ultimately to connect us with God, because our nature is servant of God and we want to please God or Krishna. So in the purport of 39, it says there that the purport of 38, it says, but anyone who is in contact with the Supreme Lord by discharging devotional service is understood to have performed all different varieties of yagyas. So we see there's a yoga ladder, and some people they cultivate knowledge, some people they do karma yoga, so whatever fruits they have gained from their work, they offer it back to the Lord. But ultimately, if one comes to bhakti yoga or devotional service, that's the highest rung of the spiritual ladder. So ultimately, every sacrifice is meant to lead us to Krishna. Just like if we have stairs and we have an elevator, so instead of walking maybe 20, 30 flights of stairs, we use the elevator. So bhakti yoga is the direct process where we get the ultimate fruit of our sacrifices when we approach Krishna through his bona fide authorities. So in Kali Yuga, there is a different type of yagya that's recommended in this age, because in different ages, there's 4 ages that are described in Bhagavatam. There's the golden age, which is called Satya Yuga. Then there comes the silver age, which is the Treta Yuga, and then the bronze age, Dwapara Yuga, and then this age, the iron age, Kali Yuga, yes. So in this age, in different ages, there's recommended processes where we can elevate our consciousness. So in previous ages, they did fire sacrifices, or they did meditation also, because they lived longer lives, so they were able to perform meditation for a longer period of time. So even within our lifetime, we know of our grandparents or great-grandparents, we've heard that they lived a longer lifespan because they were more mode of goodness and there wasn't much influence of this age of Kali, this iron age, so they live longer. But in this current age, I'll ask someone else, maybe Haridas knows the answer. What is the Yuga Dharma, or the recommended process of sacrifice in this iron age? Maybe Alex or yourself would like to. Pardon? Yes, that's right. The Mahamantra, or the Sankirtan Yagya. So in this age, the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the recommended process that will elevate us, our consciousness, purify our heart and mind, and ultimately we'll go back home, back to Krishna. So in Bhagavad Gita 3.12, it says that ultimately all yagyas or sacrifices are meant for gradual promotion to the transcendental position. And for us, practically speaking, in Bhagavad Gita 13.13, it says there's a word-for-word translation, and the word in Sanskrit is yagya shishta, which is of food taken after performance of yagya. So we are all performing yagya because we are all chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And our food is offered to the Lord. And when we partake of that food, that is called sacrifice as well. Because we are not eating any food, even vegetarian food. We see that the monkeys in the forest, they are vegetarians and they are eating the fruits. But then they go and then they're having illicit sex and they're having sex with all the other monkeys without any discrimination. So we are also not vegetarians. We are prasadarians or Krishnatarians. Yeah. So we eat prasadam. So that is a sacrifice when we make a vow that I'm only going to eat food that is offered to Krishna, prasadam. So even if we are not in a temple environment or we in a community of devotees, we can offer our food to a picture of the Lord through our spiritual master or through Srila Prabhupada, and he then offers it to his spiritual master, who then offers it to Krishna. And then that food becomes sacrifice, that becomes blessed food. And when we partake of that blessed food, our heart becomes purified, our consciousness becomes purified. And gradually, just like an onion, the rings gradually, the material coverings gradually, they dissipate or they get removed, and our heart becomes purified, that we are able to understand this highest knowledge, the Bhakti Yoga process. So in Bhagavad Gita 13:13, Prabhupada mentions how Krishna says to Arjuna, he said that such devotees who are partaking of the food offered to the Lord always perform yagyas in different modes of devotional service, such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, etc. And these performances of yagya keep them always aloof from all kinds of contamination of sinful association in the material world. So these 9 processes of devotional service, that is also yagya. Shravanam, we are all here, we are all listening. Shravanam means hearing. So we are all hearing from the words of Srila Prabhupada, the pure devotee, of how to follow the process. Kirtanam, we are all chanting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And any other examples from the 9 processes of devotional service anyone else would like to say? Haridas, one of the devotional services? Yes, that is Kirtanam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Pada. Yes, Harinam is also Kirtanam. So we have Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Pada Sevanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. So we are all serving the Lord, the devotees, they cutting up fruits and vegetables. So practically we see cutting up the fruits, that is devotional service, because those fruits and vegetables are going to be cooked for the Lord's service and then going to be offered to the Lord. We are cleaning the temple. There's devotees at Krishna village, they are doing gardening, they're going to cultivate that produce and which is being sold, and whatever income that comes from that and whatever vegetables are offered here, it's all yagya, it's all sacrifice. So by Prabhupada's mercy, we are all given this process of devotional service where we are all performing sacrifices ultimately for the pleasure of the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita 3:14, it talks about prasadam. So prasadam is blessed food that is offered to the Lord. And Prabhupada mentions there about prasadam in Bhagavad Gita 3:14. He says there that by eating prasadam, by such action, not only are past sinful reactions in the body vanquished, but the body becomes immunized to all contamination of material nature. Just like when we have immunization, so it may be either the vaccine or through natural processes, through a natural path, one can become immunized, and then when the disease comes, then it doesn't one doesn't get contaminated. So by chanting this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, this transcendental vibration which is coming down directly from the spiritual world, and eating Krishna Prasadam, our heart and mind is becoming purified, and then we become immunized. So we're not that much influenced by what is going on in the world. And the taste of the pudding, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. What's the saying goes? Yeah, so we can experience it by actually tasting it. So if someone says, if they are doubtful, they can try it for themselves. Try this process for 1 day or 2 days. Chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, eat Krishna Prasadam, and they will see that their heart and mind will gradually change. If we look at ourselves and compare to when we started this process, how our consciousness was, and to compare it now, how we are, we can see there's some change. So we are actually experiencing, it's a scientific process where we actually experiencing it by following this process. So there's many types of yagya. We are living here at New Govardhana, and we know the pastime of Govardhana Puja, where Krishna, his parents, his father, he went to Nanda Maharaj, his father, and he said that they wanted to perform Indra Puja. So we all need to perform sacrifices, because we are getting our rains from sacrifice. There's the rain god, the wind god, the fire god. So we're getting all that we need from the agents of the Lord. So then Nanda Maharaj, he explained to Krishna that we are going to be performing Indra Puja. Indra is the demigod in charge of rain, because he provides rain which then nourish the earth, so then we can get fruits and vegetables. And Krishna, he was just a little boy, and he was reasoning with his father that why should we perform Indra Puja? And then ultimately he convinced his father Nanda Maharaj that we should worship Govardhan Hill, because it is actually Govardhan Hill which is providing all our sustenance, is providing our cows that graze on the land, providing all the fruits and vegetables, and providing the waterfalls and caves, and providing shade, everything. So that is also yagya. So instead of doing Indra Puja or Indra Yagya, they did yagya for Govardhan Puja. And then another example is we have in Krishna book of the Yagyic Brahmanas. So these Brahmanas, they had Vedic knowledge, and they were performing sacrifices. And when Krishna and Balaram and the cowherd boyfriends, they came to ask for some food, they refused to even pay any attention to them. But the wives of those Brahmanas who were devotees of the Lord, they actually, they gave up, they stopped everything, and then they gave food to Krishna. So we see that even following, we can get stuck, even following the Vedic rituals, because it is said that the Vedic sacrifices are like the flowery words of the Vedas, and we can easily become distracted. So we see in the example of this Indra Puja, Indra became very puffed up and proud that he is the provider, not understanding that Krishna, ultimately God, Krishna is the sanctioner, and he is managing all these different departments that are providing for us. And even the Yagyic Brahmanas, they were afraid of the ruler, the King Kamsa, and yet we see that his wives, they gave up everything to worship and provide for Krishna. So we see that not just by performing sacrifices that we will attain Krishna. We need to externally follow the process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And also we have this internal process. We always need to keep questioning, why am I doing what I'm doing? When we come to the temple, we are bowing down. It's not just a mechanical process, bow down, Haribo Jai, get up. No, we are bowing down because we are praying to the spiritual master, to Krishna, that please engage me in your service. It's an act of sacrifice. So the physical act of bowing down our head is showing that we are subservient to the Lord and His pure devotees, Srila Prabhupada and His followers. So we need to follow this process and this Vedic sacrifice, the yajnas, consciously. And by following consciously, then we are able to purify our heart. Just like also sometimes we hear that someone may come for Sunday feast for years and years and even maybe many lifetimes, but they may not make progress. Why is that? Because the process is not being applied seriously. Of course, there is benefit because eating prasadam, coming to hear something, even though it may be for socializing or something, and something's going in, but it will take longer. The process will take longer, just like in a school. There are children in a school, in the classroom, and the teacher is teaching. Why is it that some of the students are successful and some of them are not? It's because of the application. One child or group of children may be applying the knowledge. So even though we are all born karmically, we all have a certain quota, just like Mahatma Prabhu, when he was giving his seminars on forgiveness and the holy name, the topic came up about karma, that we all karma. Who can say what is karma? Karma. Yes, it's the wrongdoings and also the right things that we do. So every action has a reaction. So whatever good deeds we have done, we are getting the fruits of that result, of that action, and whatever bad things we have done, we are getting the fruits of that action. So we are in this body because we have done something in our previous life and lifetimes to achieve this body. And whatever thoughts and actions we have performed at the end of that life, we have got the result of that. So it's what we desired and what we have qualified ourselves for. So even in this lifetime, whatever actions and whatever thoughts we are doing, we are creating our future life, just like we can experience in this one lifetime also. That if I apply in my studies when I was young, then I'm going to be successful when I get older. So we get the good and bad results of our action. But by performing Krishna consciousness, by performing this sacrifice, we are actually coming out of getting the results of the good and bad. And one might question, why should I want to give up the results of my good activities? Because actually when we're coming, it's like a Ferris wheel. The Ferris wheel goes up and down. When we do good things, we are up there. We are floating on the, we are getting the good results, like we in a king or a queen, or we live in Hawaii, we are living here in Australia, good weather, we are enjoying life. And then when we come down, maybe we're in a third world country, which is a war-torn country, we are suffering of starvation and things like that. So, but then we are still going back up and down, round and round the Ferris wheel. We won't stop. But when we're performing devotional service, we are giving up that good and bad results. And whatever yajnas or sacrifice we perform in this lifetime, it won't finish up in this lifetime. It will go on. It's, like in a bank account. When we use up our credit, we're finished, and then we have to live like a beggar on the street. But when we do yajnas or sacrifices for the pleasure of the Lord, that credit, that spiritual credit will never finish. So in this lifetime, if we haven't finished our spiritual progress, in the next lifetime, just say we stopped at 25%. In the next lifetime, we'll start at 26%. And it will accumulate until ultimately we'll go back home, back to Krishna. So this material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. So whatever is in the spiritual world is happening here in the material world, so we can have some idea. So it's not that everything stops in the spiritual world and there's a puff of smoke and we into nothingness. Whatever is happening here, there's loving relationships, like we see in these paintings here, there's activity going on in the spiritual world. But the difference in the spiritual world is that we don't have to have birth, death, old age, and disease. We have a spiritual body, we have form, we have loving relationships, and we have eternality. We don't die. So that's the difference. So we don't want to accumulate even good karmic activities. We want to get free from this cycle of birth and death, coming back to this material world. Imagine coming back again, even if you're born in a high class family where you don't have to work, you still have to go in a babyhood, you have to wear diapers, you go through that, you're born, you may go to school, you end up either being a bully or you are being bullied, and go through all whatever, cycle, going through, painful things in relationships. And ultimately, when we have a material body, there is going to be suffering, whether we in a king's body, you get a pinprick and we feel it. So even if we in a first world country where we have so much enjoyment, then we're still suffering. We can't escape suffering. That's the package of the material world. It's designed in such a way that we're all going to get old. We can't escape it, even though in the material world everyone's trying to stay young. These ads on social media, how to stay young, eat healthy, stay fit, whatever we're doing. But ultimately we're all going to die. That is the nature of the material world. Everything gets finished. So we can, while we're in this world, we can do sacrifices or yagyas for Krishna. Just like we also have, it was mentioned here that Krishna is, it says your semen is the sacrifice called Soma Yagya. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also says there that I am sex life which is not against regulative principles. So for devotees, we see there, externally we can see devotees are doing the same thing that a materially motivated person is doing. They also have children, but the difference is that a devotee is doing a sacrifice which is called Govardhana sacrifice. So there's a process in order to have a Krishna conscious child. So they are chanting 50 rounds of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and there's a process because they want to get a child, that they want to attract a child with the elevated consciousness so that they can also come and start finishing up their spiritual progress, so that they can finish up their material sojourn and go back to the spiritual world. And someone may be working in an office, so one person may be materially motivated and someone is spiritually motivated. So they're both working hard, but one's motivation is that I can go, Friday night comes, I can come and go and enjoy, go to the nightclub, go and enjoy, have sex, buy some drinks and wine and meat and enjoy. Whereas the Krishna conscious person is thinking, okay, come weekend, I have a bit of time, let me go and do some service at the temple, let us go as a family and do some service, and let's go here face to face, even though maybe we have some commitments, but at home, every day we have an altar at home, we are offering our food, and then when the opportunity comes, we can come together with the community of devotees and hear and chant together. So there's a power in association. Just like Prabhupada says, if one wants to become a drunkard, just go to the pub and associate with the drunkard. So if one wants to become spiritually elevated, one can come in the association of devotees or aspiring devotees who also have the goal in mind. So in this purport that we are reading today, Srimad Bhagavatam 3:13-39, it says there, the qualification of bhakti or devotional service to the Lord is that the devotee should be free from all material contaminations and desires. So who can say, even for myself, I'm not free of material contamination or desires? But by following the process, we are automatically, Prabhupada says there, one who engages in devotional service to the Lord according to regulative principles is automatically freed from material desires. And in that pure state of mind, one can realize the personality of Godhead. So we all in this material world, just like we are all in this hospital and we are all sick. Some people have a disease that is very serious, cancer, and some people have a minor disease, maybe they have some allergies or something like that. So we all in this mature world, this hospital, and we all want to get out, just like in a shower. Someone may be covered in mud and very dirty, and someone may not be so dirty, but we are all under the shower. So let us take advantage of the spiritual shower and get cleansed in the association of devotees and purify our heart. And no one should become despondent. We are all here. By Prabhupada's mercy, we all have this opportunity to get out of the cycle of birth and death and go back home, back to Krishna. So we are all on different phases. So just like the example is given that we have a building and there's a foundation. So if we compare ourselves to someone and think, oh, they're already there, let me quickly do a head start and just do the foundation. Like Nandu this morning, he was telling me they put these kind of reflectors around this platform outside. So he had to make a groove and put the tape. But he was saying that it wasn't done really well because they were thinking it's just going to be just for the festivals temporarily. So the platform was not stable. It was wobbly. So he had to put wedges and things and fix it so it's level so that he can put that reflector. So if anyone comes, even in the evenings, the light is there and they won't fall over. So just like in a building, we have the foundation. If we think we can take shortcuts and build a foundation and then start building a high-rise building, a tiny earthquake can come and that whole building topples over, finished. But if we build a strong foundation, then the building, even a high-scale earthquake can come, but that building is still standing. So by following this process, we all on different stages, so we look at others for inspiration, and we also be honest with ourselves and introspect and see, this is where I'm at, and this is the recommended process that Prabhupada has given from the previous acharyas. Where can I start and build my foundation? And it's not a rat race, you know, everyone's going to get there. We all on different levels. So let's be honest with ourselves and progress gradually, build a strong foundation, and associate with devotees, and then gradually we can all get there. We all going to get there. We just need to follow the process and not become despondent. Just like, you know, those who are mothers, or even if they're not mothers, they see a relative who has a child. You know, a child is trying to learn to walk and they fall down. And those around them, they're not laughing at, oh, you fell down, look at you. No, they all encouraging. And the child falls down, gets some bruises, is bleeding, but doesn't give up. You know, we don't see any child giving up. So gradually the child nourishes themselves. They're drinking the mother's milk, or they're eating nourishing food. They're getting encouragement from the friends and relatives around them. Gradually that child becomes stronger. They start walking, and then eventually they start running. So we all started somewhere. Someone can say, oh, someone just came just now, and look at them. They progress so fast. But we don't know what they did in their previous life to get a head start. So it's not that externally they actually got a head start. We worked for it. These days, this new age thing, they say you don't have to do anything. You know, just do this. That's a cheap process, you know. Nothing comes without hard work. We see even those athletes, they're rowing the boat. They get up early in the morning. They're making that sacrifice, working hard. Or someone wants to organize an event. They're not just, you know, get up and casually doing something. It requires work. So in spiritual life, why, I'm telling myself that, why do we think that it's such a cheap thing that we don't have to do anything? No, we work for it. Of course, spiritual life, it's for everyone. There's no bar for everyone. No one's stopped from following the process. But we see that if we want to achieve something great, we have to work for it. Nothing comes cheap, even materially. So spiritually, we work for it. Be honest with ourselves. We gradually keep going. Don't become despondent. Oh my, I fell down. I made a mistake. Maybe someone is not able to follow all the 4 regulative principles. No, keep getting up. Keep following. Don't leave the association of devotees. Always keep in the association of devotees. Keep trying. Gradually be like that child. You'll get up and you'll start walking. You'll be able to run. So we are all here. We encourage each other. Of course, we also have different personalities. It's not like, all, how they say, the saying, Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya, everyone. We're not going to be all friends, like, really tight friends. But we see who we can feel encouraged by, who we feel inspired by, and we associate with them. We take encouragement. Even in the spiritual world, there's different camps of devotees, but they understand there's no enviousness. They appreciate everyone's service. It's not that someone's nature is just like someone does sports, so, and then someone like just reading a book. So they are obviously going to hang out with people who also like reading the book and talking about it, but then they also appreciate the person who's doing sports. So we are all here. We find a group or even one other person who we can have a friendship with and confide in, tell of our difficulties and inspire each other and keep progressing. So I'll finish up there if anyone has any questions or comments or corrections. Or share any reflections. Okay, thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.